What are we doing? Where are we going? Are we getting paid?
The payment will be coming from your contact. He gives you the location of a remote mountain area where there is a small town that is said to be deserted that used to hold magical college of sorts, a place where people studied and expanded their magical abilities and knowledge. And some time ago, something went really wrong in somebody's experiment and destroyed most of the town. But there has been stories of certain creatures, experiments, if you will, left over that needed to be cleared out. And there's one in particular that the contact has some information on. When you got your information, it included a part of a destroyed letter. And the letter says, "It's okay. Magical experimentation is a messy science. For every beautiful Pegasus, there's a half-done creature that wasn't quite right. We understand. The goblin elephant you thought was such a great idea, the gelatinous drake, just examples. No judgment here. We got something for that. We call it the Digester. Yeah, just like it sounds. Strange looking, I know, and the smell isn't best. But the thing is, it'll eat magic like Sulflin the stout drinking ale. Next time one of those unfortunate accidents occurs, just point the Digester at it, and all your troubles will drain away. Just keep an eye on it. The damn thing ate my wand last. And whatever part where somebody had signed the letters is also missing." So you guys travel and find yourself at the edge of these lands. You sit on like a crest of a hill and you can look out and you can see it like the valley sweeps up and starts to climb up the hills. And there you can see one spire from what used to be this place of magical study. And there is part of another spire pointing up that is clearly toppled and fallen into the city. And even from this far away, you can see that this place is probably mostly ruins now. But to get there, to cross this valley,
I am a withering old man. You can't expect me to climb all the way up that hill.
Avon, if you get tired, just let me know. I can carry you.
I'm tired. You are to carry me.
I think you should make a constitution check because he's asking you to carry him up a hill. Like, I think it's more of a fatigue issue. You're strong. He's old.
That's a natural 9.
It's a mixed result. So you can do it, but I'm going to give you a debility because you'll be fatigued.
I can never become weak and sick, and I ignore...
Oh.
Yeah. I can never become
then
weakened
I
or
won't
sick.
give you weakened or sick. I'll give you a different ability.
All right. So I'm shaky.
Yeah.
How long does that last for?
You have to take a rest action. You have to spend like days resting.
Get ready for more of this. Avon is a pain in the butt.
You also got to roll those perilous journey rolls.
I'll scout.
That's a natural 12.
7.
You are carrying across this muddy field and eventually you start to get to the other side where it starts to rise up and you start to get to the buildings that were the town. It's like a farm building that's absolutely filthy and rotted out, and some smaller shacks as you get more towards what would have been like the urban area. And you hear movement every once in a while in the ruins. You can't quite place it. Not quite footsteps, not quite an animalistic chittering. And you hear it every once in a while like they're keeping pace with you, whatever this is.
I spout lore about that. 10.
You see a spidery-like thing with human hands on the end of its multiple appendages. Its eyes as blue as the ethereal plane it must have came from. And
Pick up the pace. We're not alone.
I'm really trying not to be Yoda.
This is Luke and Yoda right now, the way I'm carrying him on my back.
See this multiple human-handed spider-like creature with piercing blue eyes sort of shifting between the shadows, and the eyes look at you as it shifts from one part of the ruins to another and slips back out of your view. What do you want to do?
Make haste, you will.
We're like coming down on a hill going into the ruins, and it's in the ruins itself, or it's behind us?
It's moving along the ruins to the right of you as you move through the ruin. You're walking down a street. You're starting to get into the town. It once was civilized, but these buildings are all rotted. All the windows are smashed open, half broken walls. It's ruined. So you're just going to keep walking? Is that the plan?
I say we keep pressing in, trying to guard Avon as much as possible with my body, but allowing him to walk.
So you're making him walk?
Yeah. And then I'm going to have my hand on my sword.
Hurry now, hurry! No time for dilly-dallying.
Yes, but we must stay ready for what it is. We may not be able to
I'm telling
outrun
you,
it.
we need to move.
So as you guys are quickening your pace down the street, I'm going to need you to defy danger, Avon. As you pass by a ruin, one of these spiderly appendages with a human-like hand reaches out towards you.
Knowing that it's a spider, it's just weird, or is it like a magical creature?
It's not a spider. It is some abomination of some ethereal plane. Something that was probably never meant to be on this world of reality, but weird magic happened.
Avon, watch out! And I draw my sword quickly to try and slash out at the arm.
I'm just gonna cast a magical barrier to block any oncoming physical attack. Ooh, for 10. So I get 2 tags or 3 tags and a complication. I won't choose any damage because I'm defying danger.
And you're not taking a third one, so no comp. Debilitating and what?
Repelling.
Okay, you see the hand reach out and hit your field that you cast, and it recoils back into the darkness, pulls back into the darkness. It like reached out of like a window of a half-destroyed building.
After blocking that, I just start running as fast as my straggly little legs will carry me.
I have a skill that's just like a passive skill called Road to Perdition, and it says when you draw your unholy power in your dark blade, choose one of the following effects. Since I saw it, can I terrify it?
Yeah, you can roll to do that one.
That is 11. He is
Cool.
terrified of me.
Cause fear spell, as it's written in the game, which is this says it is as the cause fear spell. You pick an object to be the source of the fear, and its behavior, whether it is aggressive or it flees or it tries to avoid it, is up to me. It's not a guarantee that you're repelling the creature. It could make you draw the aggro, and the creature might just focus on attacking or something.
With that knowledge, can I make Pinnacle of the Fear, the rune that it was coming out of?
Sure.
And then I take off running after Avon.
You pull out your sword, and some of your dark, unholy energy leaps to the stonework, and it glows with that purpley blackness. And you hear the creature start to skitter away.
Weird
And you
stuff.
guys run down the main street and come around the corner. And this is like the main broad boulevard of the town. And you see what probably was once the gates to this magical college, but they are blown out from an epicenter forward. And everything in this main market area has that same, like a blast came through and blew all the roofs up and smashed all the windows and crushed all the walls on one side of every building. And it seems to originate from inside the beginning of this magical institution, because that whole front face of this massive castle-like building is blown off. And you can see running down one of the parallel streets is the fallen spire that you saw.
You see this destruction, Kaijo? Signs
Yes.
of an amateur.
Well, it's quite easy to see that, my dear friend. You being an arcane champion yourself,
Oh, you'd never catch me dead in a place like this.
especially not with me around. What do you think? Should we go inside, or should we scout the place outside first? Maybe check and make sure there's not any more of those spider freaks.
Oh, they're everywhere. We should keep moving. I feel the source of the power is coming from inside that spire.
Onward it is then.
I'm gonna roll discern reality.
Yeah.
Yeah, I rolled a 7. But what is about to happen?
You're about to walk into a big echoing chamber that perhaps will make it very easy for you to be heard.
As I step into the chamber and I hear that first footstep echo, I put my hand out to stop Kai, and I go, shh. I want to roll stealth and get my +1 forward.
And you'll both need to do it if you want to be stealthy, if you're taking his advice.
Ooh, 12.
I'm
Wearing
armor-
old man slippers. So you just like, shuffle your feet forward and you're totally
I do have
Gross.
heavy armor, but I also have the armored class, so I ignore all
The clumsy. You have a mixed result. So you're trying to be quiet, and you were quieter than you were, but it's just hard. You're wearing armor. You've got a sword, big
I'm
scary
clunky.
knight. And you do hear the faint echoing of the armor through the building as you move into this like half-opened main chamber. The ground is like ripply, like whatever force it had, like a frequency, and it reshaped the earth into these waves. So it's kind of difficult terrain as you move around in here. You look up inside of the castle has kind of been gutted above you, like there were rooms and floors, but the force of whatever exploded pushed up and ripped it down, leaving just the outside walls. And that's what makes this giant echo, as you can see up through the bottom of the other spire, as like just remnants, a few feet of each floor exist, clinging to the edge of the wall.
Can I spout lore about what they're studying here? 7.
So based on the note and based on information you've got, pushing the boundaries of magic through scientific experimentation is clearly one of the things. That's the only way you get pulling creatures from other planes of existence and big land reshaping explosions and shit.
Fools, every one of them.
You hear me mutter under my breath.
Institutions have no business messing with the fabric of reality.
I don't think anybody does. Not with the way the floor is moving right now.
This area clearly was a central chamber that split off into most of the other parts of the building. There is only one section of the building that is more or less intact, where there is like a proper hallway you could walk down and explore. You're not exactly sure where what you're looking for is, but you do know it's probably somewhere on the property of this institution.
Can I discern realities and take a quick look around to see if there's anything valuable that may have survived the blast somehow? Woohoo! That's a 12.
You look around and like there isn't really anything. Whatever happened was not super recent and was immense. But maybe you do find like you're digging through the dirt and you pull out like a dagger. There isn't much to find. You can have a dagger. No, it's rusted. Like
Okay.
you could stab somebody with it, but you're like, this weapon is not in its prime condition.
I was looking for like maybe like a scroll or like a wand or something.
No, not here in this epicenter of the explosion. Anything like that reverberated with this and blew itself to hell. What do you guys want to do?
Stand ready.
I pull out some like magical powder and I start placing a circle on the ground. And I want to use ritual to find the source of all the magic in this.
Like you're trying to locate the magical beast. You're trying to destroy.
Hand on my sword ready to go.
And so you just have to give me 1 to 4 conditions.
You have to roll me a defy danger intelligence. That's your condition.
10.
Draw out your magic runes and use that to attune your body to magic, as you've done many times. And at first you overcome with the sense memory of whatever exploded in here, like just a flash for a moment of how much magic was once in the air here. It is sense dissipated, but it leaves like a hole, almost like a black hole. You can feel that there's an absence of magic because it all burned so hard, right? And as you push past that, you do feel down the hallway there is a decently strong magical sensation from one entity. And then you feel beneath you, somewhere below the main floor that you're on, is another larger, some other kind of magical entity.
Without doing anything, I just start walking down the hallway toward.
Where you going?
As you're sneaking with your old man slippers, you start to hear snoring. And as you listen, it sounds like 2 people snoring, 2 different snoring.
I come to the doorway. I do some hand signals. 2 guy in there. You first. Let's go.
I would like to silently draw my blade.
Roll dexterity if you're doing something silent.
That's 10. And step into the room to get a view of where they're at.
So you step into the room, and there is a large ogre, giant-like creature, 2 heads, snoring on the floor. It's laying on its back. It's a big belly, like the size of a Snorlax. It's big, and there's like one hand on a club that's laying across its body, and the club is like not a club. It's a tree that has been rooted from the ground and is slowly bashed off all its branches.
I want to go up. Am I closer to the hand with the club on the ground, or is it on the belly?
It's like across itself. Yeah, it's like hand is on its
Okay.
belly, holding this club, like loosely holding the tree that is the club.
Now I'm gonna go right up to the closest head, get close to the neck, and go straight through the windpipe for 12.
Roll your damage.
For 9.
So you swing your dark blade, samurai-like blade, and you take gash out of the neck. But as you slice into it, like you realize that this creature's hide is thick. But you take a nice gash out of the neck, and it wakes up in a start and sits up and looks over at the two of you and swings arm holding the club. And the arm is like going to hit you, Kai, and the club is coming through the doorway at you, Avon. It has reach. It has huge reach, though.
It's a big boy. Roll Defy Danger.
Yeah, please do.
A 9.
Gonna dex and jump back.
Half damage. It's a pretty decent roll. It's a
Jesus.
D10 plus 3, and I just rolled a 10. So you guys take half of 13, rounded down to 12. So you guys take 6 damage. As arm comes down and you both try to move out of the way, Kai, you're hit by like its elbow, and it like juts you forward, hitting you in the shoulder. Avon, you run back from the doorway as the massive branches of the tree kind of hit some of the stonework, which crumbles away of the half decaying building, and you are struck by a falling stone.
I'm gonna do the same, and I'm going to use telekinesis to bring a piece of architecture down on the ogre's head. I'll step into the room and wave my staff and pull it down, and 8. I'll do 3 tags and 2 complications. So I'm gonna do strong and my damage. So let me roll that real quick. 8 damage, stunning, and armor piercing.
Complications, though.
It'll draw unwelcome or otherworldly attention, putting you in a spot, and it distorts the fabric of reality unexpectedly.
Wow.
Well, so my reasoning is that a big magical event happened, and that's not failing. That's mixed result.
You reach up and you pull your magical power on a large chunk of one of the floors that's partially hanging above the ogre, and you dislodge it, and it falls and it smacks it on the head as it's like sitting up with its arm swung over, and it is stunned by that, and it like falls on both its heads. It smacks it on both of its heads. They are both stunned and lean back and falls back into a laying position on the floor of the building. The effect is reverberating in the space, and the old half supported structure of the building is not taking it well, and you feel the magic reverberating. Everybody can feel it. If you're in here, it's like an audible sound, and the crackling of rock starts to build, and stones begin to fall as dust is coming from every surface. What do you guys want to do?
I'm gonna run up and just do like a straight stab down. Try and hit either the same throat that I hit the first time or the face of one of them. 11. That's 10.
So you run over to it and thrust down into one of its heads through the eye. The creature is stirred out of its stun from that, but the one head that you stabbed doesn't seem to wake up. You think you may have killed one of the heads.
Cool.
As you're pulling out your sword and you go to jump back, chunks of the building are falling. So both of you need to roll Defy Danger for the building fall.
I'm running away, leaving the scene.
Okay.
I was so focused on that, I failed.
I got a 5.
You both
Yeah.
failed. Okay. Well, you take building falling damage. 3 damage from building falling. Chunk of rock
Okay.
falls and hits your armor, and it cracks on your armor, and it hurts a little bit. The squishy wizard does not have the benefit of armor, and you take the full brunt of a stone hitting you in the back as you were fleeing. Oh, okay. Well, the leather helps a little. You don't get scraped by it, but you do get the bludgeoning damage of 2 points. But the creature got stunned last turn, so it's the wizard's turn. As you run down the hallway, the whole building is reverberating with this magic that you've unleashed.
I'm headed back to the central chamber, and I stand in the middle, brushing myself off. Whew, whew, whew. And I'll discern realities to find some sort of safe haven.
Yeah, what's your health?
17, but currently
Okay.
10. Currently
Yes.
about to be a lot less because I rolled a 6.
You stop for a second in the main chamber and trying to survey the area, and you're looking up at the big main fire, like into it, and this whole place is humming, and the big chunk of the main ceiling comes loose and falls towards you. So I'm going to up the damage since you rolled a fail directly on this. 7 points of damage. You hear this one in the other main chamber. You hear this one guy. wham! It's a big chunk of stone that is just shattered on.
I would like to run into that chamber. I'm gonna run for Avon, and as I'm running, I'm just gonna go, Avon, are you still alive? Or can I try and carry him to a safe place?
Roll strength to rip him out from under the rocks and charge out into the open field.
14.
So you just lift the rock and you just toss it aside, scoop up the wizard, and run out the front gates the way you came in over towards that market that's basically just been splashed flat from the previous explosion. And as you turn back and look at the remains of the castle, it just all starts to crumble in itself. The other main tower falls into the castle. The chunk you were in collapses in on itself, and there's a huge dust cloud and a loud rumble, and then it falls silent. There is no sign of the two-headed oak.
Okay, I'm gonna immediately try and bandage Avon. Avon, are you still with me?
This is why I never leave the house.
Yeah, me too. I'm gonna bandage him
He
twice.
did
and
get hit a
save
bunch
one.
of times. He's probably got multiple injuries.
There is not much more we can do tonight. I need rest. There is a great power hiding beneath this building, and we are no match for it. It is of great power, and we must ready ourselves.
I fear you're right, Avon. Even the first beast we came upon, which I feared there were more, may have been too much for us.
In my many years of experimentation, I would know a bit about alchemy, and maybe I could round up some ingredients to make a herbs and postulates and get the ingredients, and then I think I can use magic to turn it into it, because I have this creating tag.
Oh, you would do? Let me...
And I can like do shaping and transmutating
Okay,
as
yeah.
tags.
So maybe you gather some plant matter and turn it into something that you know is a healing.
Yeah, so I'll roll my magic for that, which is
Okay.
called Alter Reality.
But yeah,
10, yay. I would like a postulus and herb
yeah. How many you come in a poultice?
2
Okay,
or 7 HP.
yeah, you guys get
Nice.
that.
Cool.
I was thinking about making camp. We like bandage ourselves up, we make some more healing potions, and then we just wait for sunrise.
We're gonna make camp per the rules. I'm gonna make
Oh,
you
yeah.
take watch. You're not super safe place.
I'll take first watch.
Both need to spend a ration.
How many rations do we start with?
5. Spend 1, and then you heal half your total HP back. Then we go to taking watch. You guys are both gonna have to make a watch while the other person sleeps. If you're taking first watch, Kai, odds or evens?
Odds.
Well, let's find out. Okay, so roll a wisdom check for me, please.
That's a 9.
Okay, this says on a mixed result, you react just a moment too late. Your companions in camp are awake, but haven't had time to prepare. They have weapons and armor, but little else.
What's all that shouting?
You shout and wake up Avon as
Mhm.
you see those piercing blue glowing eyes.
It's just-
Spider-like man-handed creature, and it is slinking around your camp. What do you do?
I draw my blade, and I would like to cast the summon supernatural darkness over me and Avon. If I have a mixed result, I can spend torment or lose HP equal or higher to 2 dice rolled. Yeah, so I'm gonna draw my blade and just like unfearfully walk towards the creature and cast this. That's 12.
So darkness pours out, and you assume the creature.
I'm going to cast Prestidigitation and make a nearby rock look like somewhat sort of humanoid and make a sound so it
Okay,
thinks
like you have some backup or something.
Yeah.
Roll intelligence.
crit fail. Mark experience.
As you start like moving rocks, the creature moves out of the magical darkness and happens to spit out of the magical darkness near you. It comes over and grabs at you with its many hands, and a few things are going to happen. One, it's going
Oh
to
my
stab
God.
you with a dagger it's holding in one of its hands. So you take 2 damage from the dagger, and then its other hands are going to take something from you because it loves to steal things. So what do you have on your possession?
Bag of books, rations, and poultice and herbs. And
Okay.
my staff.
Number those in your mind. So roll the 1. So one of it stabs you with one of its hands, and several of its hands pull your staff out of your grip, and it starts to try to slink away from you. And then it's Kai's turn.
So I would like to leap out of my darkness and just try and stab it into place.
Roll the hack and slash. All right, roll your damage.
That's 7.
So you swing down trying to stab it into the earth and pin it there. And you're unsuccessful at that, but you do take off one of its limbs. Like you stab one of its human-like hands and it pulls off the spider-like limb as it runs away. And it is scurrying away from you. What are you going to do, Avon?
I'm going to throw fireball at it. A firebolt. 10. I like the strong tag because it just doubles my damage, which is good because I only have a D4. Stun, pretty great. And positioning. I see Kai going in pursuit, and so I blast a firebolt behind me to give myself a little jet boost, and then I blow a firebolt forward at the creature.
So that means 3 tags. That means you want a complication.
I did 5 damage, and I'll have it consume life force. So I will roll another d4 for 4. Oh, dear.
Jets of fire jump out of your hands, and you throw yourself in the air and then shoot fire down at the creature, and it is stunned as it takes 5 damage, and more of its limbs are busted off. But you land hard, and your hands are like burning.
Ooh, hot.
Avon, you gotta watch out with the fire.
So the creature took a stun effect.
I would like to step onto the creature and try and behead it. That's 10.
You slice its weird extraplanal appendage you believe to be the head from the body, and it falls limply to the floor.
Is it dead? I'd like to road to perdition and plunge my blade into the corpse, and its spirit will answer 3 questions you pose best to its knowledge in its life.
What questions do you want to ask?
Was it created when this town was destroyed?
I was set free from my cage.
Are you originally from the plane in which you died?
No.
Why were you brought to this plane? I don't know.
And its spirit leaves wherever weird extraplanal spirits go.
Can I loot it as I rip my staff back out of its hands and see if it stole something from some other poor traveler?
Roll to loot it. A D8.
8.
It's got some valuables on. Avon, you find he has been collecting coins, and it adds up to about 200 coin.
Oh, le mole.
As you dig through, like, he's been collecting lots of things. Any rocks that look shiny, they're of no value. But as you dig through more of its stuff, he did find some gemstones. You estimate their value to be potentially quite a bit of money here. You estimate these to be 800 coin in gemstones, mixed in with various valueless shiny rocks. So you guys return to bed and finish your rest. And the day breaks. And the day starts new. What do you want to do today?
I head back to where we were. Maybe check in on that ogre.
So to get over to where the ogre, you have to physically climb through the rubble. So if you'd like to do that, you're going to need to defy some danger.
I think I'd rather discern realities and look for a way down into the depths of the building. 5.
Do I gotta find another monster to attack?
Can I have a debility, please?
Sounds good. You can have a debility. You trip and smack your head again, and you've taken several concussions now over the past 12 hours or so, and you suffer from confusion.
Where are we going, Kai? What are we doing here?
I place a hand on Avon's shoulder. It's all right. Let me figure this out.
I want to go home.
I just lean in a little closer and go, shh. And I center myself and try and focus and discern realities with my darkness to try and find a path.
Climb up on some of the rubble, and you can clearly see where it had fallen, and one section it fell way deeper, and you can see it like it is covering what is a large stairwell that goes underground. You can see like the rubble is sunken in there. If you can get over there, that's how you can get down.
Can I use an adventuring gear to build a rope backpack for Avon to carry him?
Make it easier to carry him?
Yeah, like a little baby sling.
Spend adventuring gear. When you go to carry him, you get a +1.
That's 12.
So you just strap him to your back, and you're able to Yoda him over, and you guys get over no problem. As you get over down where the hallway was, you do see some gushy remains that you're pretty sure belong to the 2-headed ogre. And you enter deeper into the lower sections of the basements of this institute. It's fucking dark in here. What do you do?
I cast light.
Light starts to illuminate, so you touch your staff and it glows.
And it's a green color.
Okay.
So you guys enter deeper into this place, and this lower section is a little more stable. It's not falling apart. Like, it is a bit of a maze down here. So we're going to make another perilous journey to get through the labyrinth.
I rolled a 10.
So 9.
You see up ahead, and it doesn't seem to be. You see ahead of you, Avon, there is some gloopy, unnaturally gloopy substance hanging from the ceiling of the passage you're walking down. There's been wet hallways, and it's been gross. This seems out of the ordinary.
I spat Laura in the goop. 8.
I mean, you've heard of like magical goop that fucks shit up. You got a 10, so you did see it in advance. You guys could try to reroute down some other hallways if you want to avoid it.
It smells ghastly. Get away from this goop.
Gotcha, Avon. We'll go back
My
the other way.
head is spinning.
I'll turn around and go the other way.
So you guys avoid the goop and you come to a passage that is marked in Elven script across the top, and it says Digester.
Well, this seems to be the place.
But the door is sealed. It is some kind of magical.
Are we trying to go this way?
And I point at the door and I'm trying to conjure a portal to the other side of the door. Or like burn a big hole in the.
Okay.
And I rolled an 8. Maybe I'll do my complication. Much more or much less. And this is shaping and transmutating.
So you reach out with your magic and try to shape the door to your will, but it is magically enhanced itself and it resists you. Where you try to just like bend it open into like a giant portal you could walk through, you open something about the size of a peephole this big through the door.
Can I discern realities and see if I've picked up enough Elvish to possibly know what the password might be?
You can roll to spout lore about this magic door.
9.
You're not sure if it's a password is even how it functions.
Okay.
It looks like it's some kind of code via runes, but now it's partly defaced.
I'm gonna poke my eye through the hole and discern realities. 7. Oh.
It's hard to see in there. You're trying to get some light in there, but the hole is small. But you do catch a glimpse of something large moving. You don't really see any limbs. You sort of see just like surface area, large, broad, semicircular
Jesus
region
Christ.
of something like moving.
Think I see the digester.
I try to like pull Avon back a little bit since he's still on my back and go, "What are you thinking? We have to be smart, Avon."
I'm like
Maybe we
poking
should
my
go back the
fingers
other
through
way.
the hole.
Perhaps.
think? I say we go back the other way and try and fight what we can see instead of what we can't.
Can I spout lore on the door, and if I see runes? I don't know. 10.
10.
Yes.
You start looking at the door and you kind of start piecing together what the puzzle wants you to do. And it like requires certain magical energies to be placed in certain places so that only a mage of a certain skill level could open. You are beyond that skill level, it would seem, as you find it relatively easy to unlock this door. And it pulls apart and the light from your staff glows into the room. And you can see this massive faceless worm leech like creature writhing in the middle of this chamber, and it smells in here fungusy. Gross.
Close the door. Try to stifle the smell. It's already too late. It's permeated the whole room.
You close the door, but it still stinks a little.
What do you want to do?
That thing stands between us and whatever caused this mess. If that thing probably did cause this mess.
So, should we go in there and try and end it that way? Or should we go back the other way?
Brain and Brawn says we need to be here. I'm not messing with any of that goop without my equipment.
Right. The question still stands. Are we leaving or?
I'm gonna spout lore about the worm leech creature, and then I'm also gonna spend a bag of books on it. That gives me +1, which is good. That got me to 10.
It is definitely the digester you were hired to get rid of. It meets the description. It is a giant worm-like thing. Based on what you would know about this, is it can consume magic and magical items, and it is not super intelligent, but it will just try to eat whatever the fuck is in front of it. And fighting it, if you're trying to hurt it, will probably rile it up. You know it can just swallow things just because of its mass, and that is a danger. Will be swallowing.
This poor creature in there hasn't done anything to harm anybody. If anything, he is a prisoner here by these unethical researchers. I have a plan, but it might be dangerous.
What is that, Avon?
Breadcrumbs, my friend. Breadcrumbs.
So I'm thinking casting little illusions of magic and get it to follow me out of its chamber, like into a courtyard or something. So it's outside. We open the door and stand as far back down a hallway as we can, and I'll create a minor illusion and just see if it's attracted to that. 12.
What kind of illusion do you create?
Just like a orb of magical energy.
Okay, so you make a little flickering orb of light on the ground in front of it. It like senses it, like you see it start to reach out towards it, and it finds it in its big mouth, just kind of rolls over it, and whatever you feel your spell get immediately cancel when it makes contact, and it moves forward a little.
I'm gonna find a
You
stone
figured it out.
and I'm gonna transmutate it into magical bunny so it can hop and avoid being eaten. And I got a 10.
You make like a golem, a stone golem in the shape of a rabbit that is inherently a magical being. You get it to hop along in front of the worm beast, and it is slowly following it.
I'm gonna take it towards the goop room.
Are you letting it get in front of you and then you guys are following it, or are you trying to stay ahead of it?
Yeah, I'll let it get in front because I got range. Unless it would be attracted to me when it gets close.
That's the thing. If you want it to get in front of you, you run that risk.
We don't want to be anywhere near it.
So you stay
leading
ahead of it. So then you'll need to find your way back through there'll need to be a wisdom, which you can save. You can make Kai do that.
Yeah, Kai. I'm busy concentrating on getting him to follow the rabbit.
That is a 10.
You're able to find your way back. You dodge the goop like before, remembering his advice. You continue down the hallways and you guys climb out the rubble, exiting to the surface. Behind you hops out a little bunny rabbit golem made of stone, and you hear behind it the wet movement sounds of the digester slothing after it.
And as we're hanging out here, I want to move some bits of building around and create a little enclosure for it.
Roll for shaping and transmuting.
10.
So you start to shape the rubble and like a wall and make a flat surface, and you make like a pen around this opening that goes down into the basement. So it's like the basement stairs open up now into this stonework pen.
I go back to that spider hand thing and I find its body, toss it in the enclosure.
I'll go over and I'll chop it into small bits that I can carry over.
You're gonna butcher it.
That's a 11 to butcher it.
Okay, you easily just hack off all the limbs, cut the big part in two. You guys do this with ease. So you start levitating chunks of and you throw this parts over. It finds its way over and starts eating the appendages of that creature and any parts you throw in there.
I would like to look around for a bit of wood that's been burned and then grab like a large plank of wood and write on it, do not enter, devour inside.
Digesticus salaticus.
So you make some signs, some warning signs.
PS eats magic.
I want to head back down into the dungeon and poke around the Digester's chambers.
The Digester's chambers are kind of wet and icky, but there's not much in here. Roll a d10.
5.
Some minor magical trinket.
Digester goop. And could I use it to like dispel magic?
Yeah, that's good. I like that. So you get 3 usages of goop.
And what if he could brew it with the gems to make it like more powerful?
The gems are money. The gems are basically just cash.
Well, I shared that with him either way.
You got goop. You got some cash. You've got the digester pinned in. Some concrete. It doesn't seem to be able to digest anything stonework. You see it gnaw at the stonework, but it doesn't seem to make much progress. You've made some signs. Are you done? Is this adventure done for you?
No,
What do you intend to tell your employer?
We need to find the source of the magical accident.
You do?
Do I? I
That's
mean,
the
the
goal,
letter
right?
just said about the digester, so
Let's just say we handled it
What
and leave with our lives.
If you want to know what happened, you want to study these ruins?
I'm gonna set up shop here and I'm gonna study the digester to figure out how to use the goop.
So you just move into this town, like find or transmute a new house out of
Yeah.
an old one? Okay, so you're gonna set up shop here and do long-term research on what happened.
I'm gonna bow to Avon and take my leave and head back for the town where, to try and get the bounty in.
All right, that's where you guys part ways. Then we'll go to end of session.